Sports rivalries may occasionally become out of control, whether they involve individuals or teams. As we all know, they can become really fierce. However, on sometimes, instances take place that obviously cross the line. It is those that are the focus of this list. Violence and perhaps criminal activity resulted from these rivalry frequently. 2004. The Malice at the Palace. The Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons engaged in one of the bloodiest brawls in sports history on November 19, 2004, and that day will live on in NBA lore forever. According to USA Today, after an altercation between Ron Artest and Ben Wallace in the fourth quarter during which a cup was thrown at Artest, emotions between the two sides boiled out. After that, a massive brawl involving players and spectators broke out as he charged into the stands to confront the offender. Following the brawl, the NBA punished 9 players for a combined 146 games, including Artest, who was barred for the remainder of the campaign. 2010. Auburn and Alabama. The animosity between these two college football teams dates all the way back to 1893, but in 2010, one Alabama fan went completely over the top. According to Fox Sports, Harvey Updike used a herbicide to poison the renowned oak trees on Toomer's Corner in Auburn. In 2013, the famous 130-year-old trees had to be taken down, and Updike was accused of committing first-degree criminal mischief on one count. 1991. Chicago Blackhawks and St. Louis Blues. The St. Patrick's Day Massacre, in 1991 was the most out-of-control altercation between these longtime NHL division rivals. The Riverfront Times reported that significant altercations broke out between the first and second periods, resulting in an astounding 278 penalty minutes being awarded when players left the bench to join the fight. All that everyone recalls about the game, which Chicago won 6-4, are the fights. 1997. Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. A tense boxing battle between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield in 1997 transformed into a spectacle. Tyson was disqualified at the conclusion of the third round after biting Holyfield's ear twice, according to ESPN. Tyson asserted that Holyfield's 2 illegal headbutts on him were what sparked the biting. Even if the two boxers have patched things up, it still ranks among the most frightening episodes in sports history. 2003. New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. Even though the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox have long been despised rivals, things really heated up in Game 3 of the 2003 ALCS. According to Sports Illustrated, after Roger Clemens hit Manny Ramirez with a pitch that was high and inside in the 4th inning, the benches cleared. Pedro Martinez, the Boston pitcher, seized the charging Don Zimmer, the 72-year-old coach of the Yankees, by the head and threw him to the ground. In his major league career, Martinez says that this particular occurrence is his lone regret. 1994. Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Tonya Harding was prepared to do whatever it took, including committing a crime, to defeat her competitor Nancy Kerrigan in the 1994 Winter Olympics. According to Bleacher Report, Harding notoriously orchestrated an attack on Kerrigan's leg the day before the U.S. Nationals by giving her then-husband specific instructions. While Harding struggled and came in 7th place, Kerrigan overcame her knee injury to win the silver medal in Lillehammer. Even though she first denied being involved in the scheme, Harding later had her 1994 U.S. title removed, received a lifetime skating ban, and entered a guilty plea to conspiracy. 2011. El Clásico. Every time they play each other, the intense rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona is renewed, but an incident during the 2011 El Clásico was a little excessive. The Guardian reports that Real manager José Mourinho gouged Barcelona assistant coach Tito Villanova's eye following a brawl that resulted in the red cards of 3 players. Villanova chose the high route and later absolved Mourinho of the violent act, while Mourinho was given a 2-game suspension for his actions. 2018. Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. The animosity between these two NBA players reached a boiling point in 2018. According to SB Nation, Paul and Rondo got into a brawl near the end of the Lakers vs. Rockets game on October 20. Rondo also looked to spit on Paul during the incident. Paul was given a 2-game penalty while Rondo was suspended for 3 games. When Paul defeated Rondo for a spot on the Team USA Olympic squad in 2008, it appears that this feud has been simmering ever since. Rondo can at least boast that he has a championship ring and that he told Paul in 2009. 2018. Australia and Philippines national basketball. This competition quickly outgrew its bounds. Sportsnet claims that the Philippine men's national basketball team accused Australian player Daniel Kickert of punching their players during warm-ups before a FIBA World Cup qualifying match in 2018. After Roger Ray Pogoy shoved Australian guard Chris Goulding to the ground in the third quarter, a chaotic altercation ensued that featured elbows and chairs being thrown. The Filipino team ultimately lost because 13 players were dismissed from the game. 2017. Red Star and Partizan Belgrade. Easily one of the most violent rivalries in all of professional sports, the Eternal Derby, pit Serbian football teams Red Star and Partizan Belgrade against one another. With a history spanning more than 70 years and emerging from post-World War II Europe, the tension has occasionally erupted, as it did in 2017, when 20 people were hurt during a brawl between supporters in Belgrade. According to ESPN, the altercation lasted 10 minutes, and cops had to take numerous people with bloody faces away. 1979. Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough. A NASCAR fan will tell you that the 1979 Daytona 500 confrontation between Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough was what really popularized the sport, for better or worse. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Yarborough and Allison's brother Donnie collided during the race's penultimate lap, and the two competitors then started fighting. Yarborough struck Bobby with his helmet as he went to his brother's protection. Despite only lasting 10 seconds, the fight irrevocably altered the NASCAR landscape. In response to a question regarding the 2019 fight, Bobby said, "Cale hit me right in the fist with his nose." 2011. Montreal Canadiens and Boston Bruins. The Canadiens and Bruins have one of the strongest and longest-running rivalries in the NHL, and the 2011 season saw increased tension between the two original six teams. According to CBC, Bruins defenseman Zdeno Chara struck Habs forward Max Pacioretty into a stanchion during a game on March 8. The collision caused season-ending injuries, including shattered vertebrae and a concussion. Police launched a criminal investigation into Chara, but the case was eventually closed, and Chara was not suspended by the league because it was ruled that the hit wasn't intentionally made to harm Pacioretty. But try explaining it to Canadian supporters. 2018. PAOK and AEK Athens. When firearms are involved, you can always tell when something has gone too far. That was the case in 2018 between rival football teams PAOK and AEK Athens in the Greek Super League. Ivan Savidis, president of PAOK, was reportedly followed by bodyguards when he entered the field while carrying a weapon in a holster around his waist. The game was abandoned, the league was suspended, and he was led off the field. Savidis was given a 3-year suspension, and PAOK lost 3 points in the rankings as a result. 2018. Daniel Cormier and John Jones. In press conferences and interviews, these two power players have been berating one another for years. In 2018, things reached their peak. According to Deadspin, Jones and Cormier used social media to call one another out on charges of doping, infidelity, breaking the law, and even each other's wives, which is clearly inappropriate. Although Jones has the advantage in this fight because of his 2 victories over Cormier, after Cormier lost the UFC heavyweight championship to Stipe Miocic in 2019, Jones couldn't help but call Miocic the greatest heavyweight of all time. With yet another TKO, Bones. 2018. Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov's relationship spiraled out of control in October 2018, to say that is an understatement. According to Global News, after submitting McGregor in the 4th round to win the UFC lightweight championship, Nurmagomedov leapt over the cage and jumped a member of McGregor's crew, setting up a brawl both inside and outside the octagon. That marked the end of a lengthy feud that began when McGregor attacked a bus carrying Nurmagomedov at Brooklyn's Barclays Center a few months prior to the bout. 2018. Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. Long-standing animosity between the two Istanbul-based football clubs reached a breaking point in 2018. Players reportedly started fighting on the pitch after the final whistle of a 2-2 draw, according to RT. As players from both Turkish superpowers got into the altercation, 3 red cards were sent out. 1970. Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. Both inside and outside of the ring, the two heavyweight legends had a ferocious hatred for one another. Sportsnet reports that Ali frequently called Frazier a "unk *** Tom" and a "gorilla," and attacked and denigrated him, especially after Frazier won the title and Ali was banished for not entering the draft. Years later, when Ali had been devastated by Parkinson's illness, Frazier launched several cheap jabs, claiming that he thought Ali's blows had caused to his condition and that he wished Ali had fallen into the Atlanta Olympics fire pit in 1996. Unacceptable, you people. 1965. San Francisco Giants vs. Los Angeles Dodgers. One of the oldest rivalries in Major League Baseball has been between the Dodgers and Giants, and its height was probably in 1965. Earlier in the four-game series between the bitter rivals, who were involved in a close pennant fight, trouble had been developing. Then, according to ESPN, one of the ugliest incidents in baseball history occurred on August 22, when Giants pitcher Juan Marichal hit Dodgers catcher John Roseboro in the head with a bat. In response to the bat attack, Roseboro required 14 stitches in her skull, and Marichal was suspended for 8 game days. 1997. India and Pakistan. With significant political tension simmering beneath the surface, many believe that India and Pakistan's cricket rivalry is the biggest and most heated rivalry in all of sports. However, on occasion, things have crossed the line and turned violent. According to The Telegraph, Pakistani star Syed Insamam ul Haq became enraged with a fan in 1997 who was yelling obscenities at him via a loudhailer, charging into the crowd to confront him and exchanging punches. Security personnel and his teammates had to restrain him, but it wasn't fashionable. 1990. Argentina and Brazil. The rivalry between the two South American football nations dates back to their inception, but one specific episode in 1990 stands out for going far beyond simple smack talk. According to The Guardian, reports that Brazil's left-back Branco drank from a water bottle that the Argentinians had contaminated with a tranquilizer during the 1990 World Cup came to light. At the time, Argentina's coach Carlos Bilardo responded to questions about the rumors by cryptically remarking, "I'm not saying it didn't happen." Even though it was never shown to be true, it is still one of the more heated exchanges in the rivalry. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe for more information. Please do support us.